Ah, Zelda. My favorite gaming franchise of all time. If you couldn't tell. So let's talk about Echoes of Wisdom. Everything from the great things to the not so great things. This game is so charming. The art they use, just like Link's Awakening, is so good and pleasing to look at. Every area is so unique. From Gerudo, Desert, Jabul Waters, Death Mountain, all these classic Zelda locations. Alright, so let's get from the beginning. Let's talk about the story. I'll try to keep this spoiler free for you all as I can. I'm sure most, normal people haven't finished it yet like me. I played over 30 hours in like 4 or 5 days. Anyways, Link and the King and his left and right hand men, for the king, replaced by imposters. So they imprison Zelda. And they're getting ready to execute her. But then you meet your friend Tri, who gives you the Tri-Rod, and creates echoes of things to progress through the world in as many ways as you can think of. So you can escape prison, and you end up in Link's village. Now you must start closing the rifts to help the citizens of Hyrule. And that's the basic gist of what you'll be doing. All the characters, very classic, fun, quirky, everything you would expect in a Zelda game. Alright, let's get into the meat and potatoes, shall we? Echoes in this game do a fantastic job of giving you a similar feeling of freedom and creativity that Tears of the Kingdom gave you. The number of ways you can traverse the map, whether that be making a stack of beds or using a spider to crawl up walls. The combat is so fresh and fun for me personally. I mostly use echoes to fight enemies, rather than the sword fighter form. Constantly, because you don't want to be Link or Zelda. The number of fun ways you can utilize the echoes to fight is endless, and it fills me with joy to see my armies of monsters destroy everything in my path. Whether that's spawning an army of bats, or Octoroks, or, all the other stuff. You can also do funny stuff, like spawning rocks and just yeeting them at enemies. Like, who knew Zelda was so freaking strong? These rocks are like half her size, and she just launches them across the freaking screen. Like, dang girl, come on. You combine all these parts together, especially for dungeons, with all of the options for solving the puzzles. You have a recipe for success. It makes you feel so freaking smart when you come up with a solution that Nintendo probably wasn't even thinking about. Like, they wouldn't have done it that way, It makes you feel so smart. Like, 80% of the time, I was just coming up with wacky ways to get through everything, and I loved every freaking second of it. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this review, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and like the video, and, be super helpful for me. And if you want to check me out, my shenanigans live, I have my Twitch linked on my YouTube, and I do everything live over there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let's get back to the review. Alright, now let's talk about the not so great things about this game. Which really just boils down to one thing. The menu system. Why, oh why, did Nintendo bring back this system, dude? Like, oh my god. They're like, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom system? Yeah, that was a great idea, guys. Let's do that again. Let's make a system where you have to scroll through over 100 freaking items. Like, okay. Like, this is my one gripe with this game. Because, like, it made me feel like I didn't use half the echoes in the game because I didn't want to scroll through the freaking menu constantly. Anyways, besides that, like, there's a lot of good things about this game. I wanted to use, like, let me see. I love basically everything about this game. The mini games were fun and satisfying. To complete the story was good. I liked it a lot without getting into further detail. Let's talk about the sword fighter mode. It's a very nice mechanic they implemented for people who wanted to play like Link in this game. And there were definitely parts where it seemed intended to use it to make things easier for you. But I only used it when I found an enemy I hated with a passion. Looking at you, freaking Ice Keys. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. I get a little crazy when I think about those flying demons. Back to the Link form. It is nice you get a bow as well later in the game. It does come in handy for sure, but the one thing I did not utilize was the bombs. Like the ones that Link gets. When you start the game and you have the bombs and the bow and stuff, you get literally like 2 or 3 echoes before you get bombs from Link, or like later in the game to blow things up. So I like never used it. It kind of seemed like a missed opportunity. Anyway, it still was a cool way to play the game if you wanted to play as Link all the time. I would say this is one of my favorite top-down Zelda games. Like, I have played pretty much all of them, besides, like, Spirit Tracks. Anyways, the Link's Awakening remake was really good, but I would say this one was even more fun. I would call it a huge success. Everything problem the game throws at you, like a traditional game, there's so many ways to do it. Like, I love the fact that you don't just have to find that one specific item to progress through the game. Like, I know the traditional Zelda formula is fantastic and I love it to death, but this is such a refreshing pace of a 2D Zelda game. And like it just it brings you so much joy, like where you can figure out something or like, you know, do some kind of crazy thing and it just solves everything for you. But this game to me feels like it was kind of like an experiment where like they wanted to see if Tears of the Kingdom could work in a top-down Zelda game, and I honestly think it does. And if it wasn't for the freaking terrible menu system, I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. But I would say, just because of the annoying menu system and things like that, I would have to give it a solid 8.5 for me. But I would also say this is the perfect game if you haven't played the other traditional Zelda games. If you want to play a top-down Zelda, start with this one, because you don't have to like get the specific bow and arrow just to get through this one part of the game, or like talk to everyone and figure out exactly what to do. So I think this is a perfect intro game to anybody who wants to get into this franchise, like in the 2D section. But overall, 8.5 out of 10 for me. I would definitely recommend you play this game. Alright, thank you so much, guys, for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be making lots more videos soon. I'll be streaming live on Twitch. Thanks, everyone, for showing up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.